those were homework 6s. Now I'm going to go on to homework number 7, and we're going to see which ones we wanted to do from number 7. So, oops. So mark to-do list here. And next is number 4 from homework number 7. So homework number 7, problem number 4, says solve each of the following equations. If an equation is an identity or contradiction, make sure to give the correct solution. Every problem needs to have a variable completely isolated for full credit. So go back over to the tablet. So here we go. So we have 4, and we're going to start with A. So we have a distributive property. So I'm going to save a little time. I wouldn't normally ask you to do this because I don't like to not have the original equation, but it's going to be lots of time if I don't just kind of shortcut things. So 2 is going to distribute. So 2x and 2 times -3. So I'm going to have 2x and then minus 6 and then plus 5. And then that's equal to, and then I'm going to distribute 3 here. So I'll have 3x and then minus 6 and then plus 5. So now I want to simplify this side here and this side over here before going on. So I have 2x minus 1 is equal to 3x minus 1. Now I need to bring the x's together, so I'm going to move the x's to the right-hand side by subtracting 2x from both sides. And that's going to give me -1 is equal to x minus 1. Now I need to move this -1 away from the x, so I'm going to add 1 to both sides to make it disappear from this side. And that is going to give me -1 and 1, which is 0, so I have to write the 0, and that's equal to x. Now that's a perfectly valid solution, and that is my solution. Now we're going to move on to part B. So part B, I can't quite see it, so I'm going to move it over here. So part B, in this one, I'm going to use my distributive property first. So 1/2 times 2 is going to give me 1x. And then 1/2 times 5 is going to give me 5/2. 5 times 1 multiply and 2 times 1 multiplies. And then that's equal to x minus 1/2. Now this is an equation, and so I might want to go ahead and declare the equation of fractions, but you don't have to. So if we don't, we can simply start by subtracting the x from this side so that I can get it to move over here with the other x. And as soon as I do that, these both disappear on both sides, which leaves just a constant here, equals, and then a constant over here. And because this is a false statement, that tells me that I have no solution. That is not the solution. The solution is actually that there is no solution. This means that this is an equation that has no real numbers that will make it a true statement. Now moving on to part C. In part C, we have 3x plus 4 and then equals, and I'm going to do the distributive here, 2 times x, which is 2x, plus, and then 2 times 2, which is 4, and then plus x. So now I need to combine the like terms on the right before I go on. So this says 3x plus 4 is equal to 3x plus 4. Now a lot of people are quite capable of seeing what the solution is right there, but I really recommend that to be able to see the solutions, please move your variables and allow the variables to be totally gone from the equation before you jump to any conclusions. The x's go away on both sides, and 4 is equal to 4. And this true statement is going to tell us that this time we have all real numbers. as solutions. So all real numbers. Now remember again that the 4 equals 4, that true statement, is not your solution. Your solution is all real numbers. Even though this is a true statement, that's not the answer. All right, so now we're going to take a look at the next one, but I'm going to pause before I do that. All right, so the next problem we're going to do is 8b, and we're going to solve this formula for f. So the first thing that I need to do is get the 2h away from the f. So 2h, I'm added to this, so I'm going to subtract it. So 2h gets subtracted from both sides. So this gives me r minus 2h, and that's equal to negative 1/4 times f. So now what I need to realize is that I have a numeric coefficient right here. And so that numeric coefficient I need to get rid of. So I'm going to multiply by its reciprocal, which is a -4. Don't forget that this is negative, so your reciprocal is negative as well. And so that means that I need to multiply this whole side by a -4. So that is going to distribute, so negative times a positive is a -4r, and a negative times a negative is a positive. 4 times 2 is 8, and that's h, and that's equal to f. So there's one expression, or we could say that f is equal to 8h minus 4r, which would order that as well as put the subtraction back there in the back of the equation or expression so that we don't possibly lose it. So that would be my simplification. Now the next thing I want to do is problem number 9. So we're going to do 9, and this is a word problem. So we're going to look at the perimeter of a rectangle is 88 inches. And the width must be 18 inches. What is the length? Write all relevant information, make a plan, an algebraic equation, and then solve it for the length. So number 9, well, I'm first of all going to draw a rectangle here because that's what it says. I have a rectangle. And the perimeter of that rectangle, now I'm going to provide some information that I already know about that. Perimeter is 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. That value, I'm told, is 88 inches. And I'm going to make sure I write down the inches. Now the width must be 18 inches. So width I typically think of as the shorter side. So I'm going to put 18 inches over here. And so that's my length. And then what must my length be? So my length up here, that must be a variable. So I'm just going to call that x rather than confuse myself with the x's and w's. And then I'm going to use this expression and this expression in this equation. So this says 2 times the length, which I've called x, plus 2 times the width, which I've called 18, is equal to 88. So now I have 2 times 18, which is 36, and then 2x plus 36 is equal to 88. Now I'm going to go ahead and move the 36 away from the x, just solving an algebraic equation. 2x is equal to, and that's 52, and then I'll divide, and that gives me x is equal to, 2 goes into 5 2 times, with 1 left over, 2 goes into 12 6 times. So my x, which is my length, is equal to 26 inches. And that's the answer that I need. The length is 26 inches. So that's that one. And I'm going to go ahead and stop this recording, and I'll pick up in another one.